Welcome to the GreenLight Investor for the week ending January 29th, 2016. Our goal at the GreenLight Investor is to provide a unique resource to help make managing your 401k both a simple and easy process. We do this with a worksheet that uses red, green, and yellow cells to help you decide when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be taken as personal investment advice. I'll be using examples, and that's exactly what they are. They're examples of how you can use this worksheet as an additional research resource and help you make fun choices within your 401k plan. Always refer to your own investment policy to make certain that the choices you make are appropriate for both your investment time horizon as well as your understanding and acceptance for taking risk in financial markets. All right, let's go right into our worksheet for the week, which is updated on a weekly basis. Each week, on the left side, we'll take our investment choices. Those are the funds that are available to you within your 401k. At the top, we have the core investments, which are the index funds. Then as we scroll down, we'll go into the satellite investments, which are ways to supplement the core investments. And the more conservative funds are the money market, fixed income, U.S. growth and income. And as you scroll down, you can see the U.S. equity funds, international funds, and sector funds. Once you get past the core investments, the index funds, the satellite investments are generally more conservative as you get to the top. And as you scroll down the worksheet, they tend to get a little bit more aggressive or have a little bit more volatility in them. The headings for each of the columns include the fund number, the symbol, the fund name, and a brief description of what the fund objectives are. Center of the worksheet, we have the performance for the year 2016, and each week we'll update the closing price, the month to date, quarter to date, and the year to date returns for each of the funds available to you. And finally, on the right side, we'll have what I think is the most unique part of this worksheet, and it's called the current weekly trends. It's a section that shows the relative strength for each of the funds available to you within your plan, and it helps you see at a glance what the long-term trends are and what the relative strength is on a week-over-week basis. If you want to take a quick summary of how the fund's strength or weakness is, you can simply use column U, V, and W. It's always important to stay with the long-term trend for each of the funds, so we highlight what we believe that is best reflective of. Bearish means it's generally a negative tone, and when you see bullish, or you're either sideways to positive to slightly positive. Always stay with the long-term trend. That's always the primary direction of the fund, so always be aware of that when you're making your investment choices. Down column V, we have the relative strength change on a week-over-week basis. When you see a bright green light, those are the funds that have made the strongest moves on a week-over-week basis. And when you see the red light, that shows the funds that have moved the least on a relative week-over-week basis. Even though it's moved positive, it's moved less positive than the bright greens. So that gives you a general indication as to which ones made the biggest moves on a week-over-week basis. And then to go a step deeper into this, we'll go to column W, which each week will give every one of the funds a relative strength trend score. When the score is a negative number, that means that the fund is generally negative and will have a red cell. When you have a positive number, it'll show that the fund's been performing generally in a positive direction and will have a green cell. And when it's transitioning, a lot of times you'll see a yellow cell in the current week. What's always good to do is to track the week-over-week performance and looking at the numerical value as well as the color. When the numerical value is either becoming less negative or more positive, that means that the fund's generally moving in a positive direction. And when the numbers are getting more negative or less positive, that means that the funds are generally moving in a negative direction. So it's easy way to see what the general trends are of your funds. And as we scroll down, we can see that the general trends with all the red have been negative for just about every asset group. I think cash has been the best performer over the near term. And we're seeing lots of red here in the U.S. equities, lots of red in the international, and lots of red on the sector funds. The one thing that I'll note is on column S, the short-term trend. We are seeing a fair amount of bullishness. So what we're seeing is on a week-over-week basis, we're starting to see some strength come in. So all of the negative action that the market has seen so far this year seems to be taking a break as we come to the end of the month. With that said, we've given the terminology, we call it a bearish rally. It means the market's still generally bearish for the long term, but we are seeing a short-term rally in this market. So, still use caution when you get into the market, as we do see a lot of red still in the trend columns. Generally, what we like to see are at least 2 weeks in column W and X of positive numbers, where the numbers have gotten stronger on a week-over-week basis. That generally shows that there's the potential for a development of a continuing trend in the underlying fund. Let's see. Going back here again, the long-term trend is what you want to watch in column U, and then confirm it with strengthening in the relative strength trend scores in column W. With that said, let's go ahead and see how we can use this to make choices within our 401k plans. We click on View, Custom Views, we go to My Allocation, and it will change the worksheet so you can see how you are allocating your funds. Remember, this is just a worksheet and you'll have to manually enter all of this information in as far as changes in your 401k. To make the actual changes, you have to go to your company website, click on the changes there, and then what you'll want to do is keep track of the changes you made and bring those into this worksheet so you have a simple way to manage those choices and know how they're doing once you make the choices. Because of the weakness, we've moved 100% of our capital, in this example, to the money market. So that means we are looking for some strength so we can see which are the strongest funds to go into. But while we're seeing this negative trend and the weakness in the market, we'll sit in the sidelines in the money market. To make choices and see when we're ready to get into this market again, we'll move the slider over and we'll be wanting to look for the short term starting to move over into the intermediate term, and then where we will trigger the change in the funds are when we see the long-term trend change, as well as we see at least 2 weeks strength in the numerical values. And in a lot of cases we are seeing that. Here we went from a -2 to a -1.53 to a -1.27. So that's gotten stronger even though it's a red. So this is a good indication, as well as these green lights showing that the short-term trend and the intermediate have turned bullish here. So these may be funds that we would be looking at first to get back into this market. Again, here's another example where we were a -0.9. The next week we moved to a -0.82. And finally we moved to a -0.59. So that's actually strengthened for 2 weeks. And the same on this bottom fund. We were -2.5, we're a -2.1, and we went to a -0.0. So this could actually turn green next week and might be a signal for a fund to be in. So we'll keep an eye on that. And that's a good example. We can use these to get ready to make the transition from either bullish to bearish, bearish to bullish, and ready to move. Our growth in income, we are seeing lots of red still, and we're seeing red in the long-term trend, so we're going to be staying clear of that. Our U.S. equity funds are still showing lots of red. We are seeing a mix of red and yellow, so we may be transitioning. And again, we're starting to see green lights in the short-term trend, so that's a positive sign. But again, 1 week doesn't make a trend. We need at least a couple of weeks to see if the trend is developing. On the international funds, Again, we'd like to have our 30% allocation here. We have 0, which we've moving money from this allocation in the international funds to the money market. And we're again waiting for some of these green lights in the short term to move to the intermediate long term. And then we would like to make sure that we see at least 2 weeks where the relative strength numbers are becoming less negative or more positive. And again, this is the same scenario we have down in the sector funds, where we have lots of red, and we'll want to see some of these yellow lights turn into green lights, and that would again be a trigger to get back in this market. But for what we have right now is, we're again calling this a bear rally until we see at least one more week where the market's showing that it does have strength. If it does, we'll go to a bullish alert, where we'll be actively looking to reallocate back into this market. With that said, let's go back to our main page, and to do so, you click on View, Custom Views, and we'll go to any one of these selections, but in this case, we're going to go back to the With the Performance columns. When you click Show, it takes you back to your main page, and you can go back through this if you have any questions. If you'd like to get a copy of this worksheet emailed to you, you can simply send me a request at the email listed here, or you can go to the website, just click on this link, or you can go into the website and it will be posted every week. You can bring it onto your computer, take a look at it, and see what choices you'd like. And again, if you have any questions, you can always email me, and I'd be happy to answer your questions on how you can use this worksheet to help you make choices in your 401k. With that said, that's what I've got for the week. I hope it's been helpful and gives you an additional resource to help you manage the choices within your 401k plan. Again, you can always email me if you have questions. It's a little bit different way to look at the markets, but I think once you get used to it, it's actually very helpful as an additional tool. But that's what I've got for the week. I hope it's been helpful. Thank you again for taking a few minutes out of your weekend to watch this, and I hope you have a good day. Thanks.